Please be seated. Distinguished guest, I would like to invite Uncle Chris Tobin, representative of the Darug people, to offer the traditional acknowledgement of country.
Thank you. Warami Miriga. Hello friends and Nalawa. Welcome. I belong to one of the local Aboriginal families of the Darug people, the traditional custodians over this part of the country. I wish to firstly pay my respects to the country and its people by acknowledging that we do indeed meet in Aboriginal country, in Wallamata, the place of the snapper fish and the ancestral homelands of the Wallametical people. I'd like to thank the University for the invitation to be with you today and to join with you in the acknowledgement of country. That's one of the features I'm proud of in contemporary Australia that we do, and it's quite appreciated by our people. My family, in fact, descend from Yarramundi, a respected elder and cleverman of the neighbouring Burrabarongal clan during the early years of colonisation. He saw that our survival in this new world could best be secured if we could learn more about it. And so he enrolled his daughter, Bullangai, or Maria as she is known, into the Native Institute, a school set up in 1815 by Governor Macquarie, offering formal education to Aboriginal children. Maria studied there for several years and used her newly acquired skills to lobby and eventually secure some land for herself and her family out along the Richmond Road. Other Aboriginal families soon joined them there, seeking refuge during the brutal displacements of our people throughout the 1800s. And the place came to be known as the Blackstown, where the present-day city of Blacktown gets its name. We are very proud of her, as I'm sure your families are of you here today. And with good reason. Your success is our success. Your advancement, our advancement. Now that was probably better understood in more traditional times when camp groups were smaller and clans abided by strict sharing laws, which meant the food that you caught and brought back was distributed throughout the rest of the camp. Your skills and good fortune were thus enjoyed by all. Your efforts literally nourished the rest of the community, and you in turn were looked after by them. Yes, we can live quite beautifully when we work together. Our Aboriginal ancestors certainly lived well in many respects, and I use occasions such as these to offer them to yourselves as a model or a benchmark on how good to expect our lives today. You see, when Captain Cook arrived here just a little over 250 years ago, he described the people he encountered as one of the happiest people he'd ever met. They owned nothing, he wrote, but the tools they carried. They were naked, made their shelters from the bark of trees without cutting them down, and fed their families from the earth without excessive tilling or clearing. There was no slavery, no rich and poor, and no homelessness. Armies were unheard of, as were forts, jails, or even fences. People then cooperated to collect the resources that were needed, which were then shared out according to strict Aboriginal law. Our lands are maintained in their natural state through fire and responsible harvesting. Our rivers and waterways kept clean and unpolluted, with people drinking out of them as they've done here in Wallamata for the past 30,000 years. So please consider, this is not some dream yet to be realised or some ideal. This is normal life for us and for the longest time, and not that long ago. So there's no really good reason why we should expect less for ourselves and our children than what our ancestors enjoyed. Admittedly, there's a lot more of us. However, we are a clever people, and it's got to be the way to go, I reckon. So graduates, I would say expect great and wonderful things from your life. Life is good, we are naturally happy, and normally very good at looking after each other and the planet, or our separate countries. Either way, like I say, expect good things from your life. Just share your skills with the rest of us and keep following that beautiful spirit within you that got you this far. Do this, and I'm confident we can put together a world we can be proud of and a future that is worthy of our children. We can all do our bit. I'll do mine now by finishing up and letting you graduate. Just want to say congratulations to all of you. Have a wonderful day and all the best in our collective futures. Thank you. Yano.
Distinguished guest, I am pleased to introduce Pro-Chancellor of Macquarie University, Distinguished Professor Leslie Hughes.
Thank you, Belinda. And thank you, Chris, for that warm acknowledgement of country on this unceded Aboriginal land. Your presence here today adds great significance to this significant occasion. Thank you very much. Colleagues, guests, families and friends of our graduands, and of course, most importantly, the graduands. It's my honour and a pleasure to welcome you here to this graduation ceremony. I bring a special message from the University Council, which is the governing body of the university. It's our hope that today is a very happy and memorable occasion for all of you. Before we get on to the ceremony proper, we do have a number of small children with us today, which is wonderful. We certainly don't expect those kids to stay still or quiet for the full duration of what the rest of us have to stay still and quiet to. So if they make noise or fidget, please don't feel you need to rush out. They are very welcome to stay for the whole thing. Well, today is a milestone day. Today we celebrate the wonderful achievements of those of you who are about to graduate. Completing a degree is never easy. It requires an intelligent and inquiring mind, determination and perseverance. And you have all made many sacrifices along the way in the pursuit of your goal. You've worked very hard to get to this point, and you should feel very proud of what you have achieved. We as a university are just as proud of your achievements, and I'm pleased to be able to congratulate each and every one of you. I also want to especially welcome the families, supporters and friends of our graduands here with us as invited guests. The fact that you have been invited by one of our graduands to share in this day is proof positive that you have been a very important influence on their lives. So to our invited guests, congratulations and thank you for celebrating this great occasion with us. Now, our graduands may not realise it, but we are about to participate in one of the world's oldest social rituals, because graduation ceremonies like this one have been occurring for about 800 years. Since the earliest graduations, the ceremony has remained a defining feature in the life of virtually all universities and their students. Of course, Macquarie is not one of those ancient universities. In fact, this year we are celebrating our 60th anniversary. But nonetheless, we are very proud to take part in this time-honoured ceremony today. We also know that relative youth has its advantages. Macquarie is a modern and outward-looking university. We enjoy an enviable reputation in research, engagement, excellence and impact. We are continually progressing and extending our research, our partnerships, our course offerings and our facilities. We have a proud tradition of innovation and discovery, and our pioneering approach to build upon a collaborative, connected learning community. And of course, we are all extremely proud of this beautiful campus. Today we have over 234,000 graduates living in about 150 countries around the world. We're looking forward, we're on the move, and of course, so are you. But the things we value so much about Macquarie, however, will not change. The friendliness, inclusiveness and approachability of our staff and students is often commented upon by visitors to the university, both from within Australia and from overseas. This is inherent to our culture, and we intend that it will always be so. Remember, you are always welcome here. Distinguished guests, academic and professional colleagues, and most importantly, our graduands, I offer you the warmest of welcomes to Macquarie University on this grand occasion. In just a few minutes, it will be my very great honour to confer your degrees upon you and welcome you as lifelong members of that community of scholars that we proudly call Macquarie University. Before we do that, I'll just make a few more off-the-cuff remarks. As your graduates walk across the stage, of course everybody will clap them, but if you feel like yelling, screaming, whistling, whatever, to show how proud you are of them, please be my guest. You are here to embarrass them, as only families can do. To our graduates, when I stand, as I will do shortly, watching people walk across to receive their degrees, I often think that some of you look like you're about to face a firing squad. Please don't be scared. You're just going to walk across a stage. It won't take more than a few seconds. We'll shake hands, you'll have a photo, and really that will be it. If you fall over, and judging by some of the shoes that I see walking across this stage, that is not completely beyond the realms of possibility, someone will pick you up and you will be fine. Okay, it is now my great pleasure to introduce our occasional speaker, Michael Campbell. Michael has had over 35 years of experience working as the CEO, artistic director, art consultant and strategist, producer, events manager, librettist, editor, writer, director, choreographer and dancer. He is currently the executive director and publishing director of Westwards, Western Sydney's literature development organisation dedicated to facilitating, creating and sharing the stories of Western Sydney. Prior to that, he was the festival director for the Brisbane Writers' Festival for 4 years. He's had a very multifaceted career, including writing books, being a presenter on Foxtel's For the Love of Books, and has gone from classical ballet to contemporary dance as a principal dancer with the West Australian Ballet, the Queensland Ballet and Opera de Stad Col. He's also worked as a director and movement director for most of Sydney's major theatre companies, directed, choreographed and restaged works for Opera Australia over the course of almost 2 decades, including directing his own co-written opera called Madeline Lee on the main stage of the Sydney Opera House. He has toured his work nationally and internationally. Over the course of his career, he has received many awards recognising his business acumen, as well as for artistic excellence and his contribution towards the formation of Australia's cultural identity. I now invite Michael Campbell to deliver the occasional address. Thank you.
Pro-Chancellor, members of the university, graduates and guests, thank you. Gosh, I've done a lot, haven't I? It's very rare that you hear somebody talking it all out. My God. I must be feeling old. First, congratulations to all of you who are graduating today. You've made it. Congratulations to the university and the lecturers for seeing them through. And congratulations to the parents, caregivers, family, partners and friends. You survived. I'm the husband of a university lecturer and a father. I know the journey you've been on. This is an important moment for all of you. And I've been asking myself, what might I be able to offer or say that might be in any way useful? What are the things that I didn't know, but would have definitely appreciated someone giving me the heads up? So, at the risk of pontificating, my father was Pro-Vice-Chancellor of ANU and a philosopher, and I may just have inherited some of his genes, so I really do apologise in advance. He goes, what are the things I didn't know when I was sitting where you are now? My formal education taught me how to learn. And that gift would keep on giving throughout my life and career. Self-awareness is a really good thing. After coming back from Germany towards the end of my dancing career, at a point when my personal life had gone down the toilet and out somewhere past Bondi, yes, it does happen and nothing can prepare you for it. I had no idea what I was going to do, so I embarked on further study and did postgraduate studies at NIDA, National Institute of Dramatic Art. One of the ways they internally assessed their students
was by applying the 3 T's. And I have to say, it's always been a great way to give myself a really good reality check. The 3 T's are talent. Talent is what you were given. You either have a lot of it or not much. Realise that and just simply move on. You have got no control over your level of talent, so don't waste your time thinking about it whatsoever. Temperament. This is how you approach your work. In any given moment, are you just coasting, so don't really have to try too hard? Now, yes, I can go out to that party or meet a friend rather than working. Or is it a moment where you need to be unsatisfied, driven, hungry, curious? Is it a moment where your perfectionism is actually being really unhelpful? The 3rd T, technique. This is the level of craft. Craft can be learnt usually by having a constructive temperament. Combine temperament and technique, and these are the hallmarks of the majority of the people who have survived and still are working in the industry. If you want something, just simply be the Nike ad and just do it. There is a time for thinking, for being fearful, for being cautious, for doing all the research you need to do to make proper informed decisions. But at some point, if you want it, either you do it or you don't. It's completely up to you. And in making the choice, be prepared to live with the consequences. The choice you make will be the best choice. There are so many people out there dithering in indecision, either end up disillusioned, cynical, and living a beige kind of life. Not that I'm wearing beige. Having got to this point, I don't think you're one of them. Don't become one of them in the future. I didn't learn, but I learnt during the course of my career, no one told me just to say yes. When you say yes to whatever, then make it a full 100% committed yes. You'll get so much more out of it. You'll find out your capabilities. You might even discover what you want to do, if you don't know now, or what you don't want to do. I recall a party somewhere in my 20s where an out-of-work choreographer friend of mine was drinking himself into forgetting that he couldn't pay the next fortnight's rent. Somewhere before dawn, he got offered a gig to choreograph 27, and I kid you not, strip teasers for strippers up at the Cross. He said it was the most creatively rewarding jobs he had ever had in his career. The challenge of coming up with 27 interesting and different ways to take your clothes off. He learnt so much, and probably not what you're thinking. No one encouraged me to be opportunistic, to be really curious. Keep your eyes open and look to the peripheries. What may not at first glance look like being something for you, perhaps because you've set yourself up for that big vision for yourself and you're on the path to getting there, may well turn out to be absolutely the right thing. It was about the time of coming back to Australia after being in Germany, and my body was getting too old to hold a woman above my head doing 8 shows a week, that I realised that being opportunistic and saying yes to things, being curious about what came my way, directly led me to direct drama, to direct and write opera, run a writers' festival, create a literary organisation, and become a publisher. I urge you, don't shy away from being you. A writer we work with at Westwards told a cohort of Year 12 students at the end of last year who were on their major project, if you come up with an idea that you think you have heard or read somewhere else, put it aside. The way to recognise the you in your work is to simply find the idea, the approach, the methodology you haven't heard or found somewhere else. That may not sound a big or risky thing to do, but it really is. Putting yourself out there as is out into the world is one of the riskiest and one of the hardest things you will ever do. Another thing nobody taught me, the world doesn't care about you. Couldn't give you a moment's thought, doesn't matter how fearful or poor you are, whether you have just broken up with your partner or had the best night of your life, whether you are on an endomorphine or another kind of high, or operating on a dizzying lack of sleep. Like, for instance, at this moment, you don't care that I got off at a plane at 7 a.m. yesterday morning after travelling 37 straight hours and getting about 3.5 hours sleep, nor should you. That's what neither you or I are here for. Let me give you a more extreme example. I was dancing Romeo. The audience who paid their $100 or $200 a ticket to see the show didn't need to know that in the first act fight scene, someone had turned the wrong way, put their cheekbone into my nose and broke it. They had paid their ticket and they justifiably wanted to see all the way to the end to seeing Juliet killing herself. Luckily, the blood didn't show up too much on the costume, there were painkillers and ice packs in the wings, and emergency was open late. I think one of the things that I've had that's caused me to have the career I've had is because it's all about relationships. Whatever field, industry, company you go into, no one operates in isolation. You as an individual might want to work with ideas and concepts and everything else, but people want to work with people. No one told me that my skills were transferable. What I learned as a dancer, discipline, creative thinking, analytical approaches to problem solving, work ethic, how to collaborate, valuing others, meeting deadlines, has been absolutely invaluable in creating and sustaining Westwards as an organisation. It'll be the same for you. Your skills that you have now will be transferable right throughout your entire life. Follow your interests and your passions. What has driven me throughout these past 35, almost 40 years, is a core belief that what we call art and culture is simply an expression of who we are as a people and a society. The arts are not in the margins of life, a diversion or an entertainment. They are central and indivisible to our individual and collective humanity. That belief has always been my passion. I didn't ever expect that as a former dancer, I would run a literary organisation, but I am. I urge you to follow your beliefs, passions, define yourself by them. Allow yourself to be surprised by where it'll take you. But probably the biggest thing that I didn't get told but wished someone had, we do things happen to us, but there are many ways to tell a story. It's the narratives you tell yourself and others that will create your past and allow you to see the possibilities for your future. Go, do things, be curious, be hungry for all that life offers, be open to change. It assuredly won't be easy and comfortable all the time. Be hurt, be angry, disappointed, survive and thrive, and have the time of your life doing it. Create the stories of your life and live it. Thank you.
Michael, that was absolutely marvellous, but I do think Macquarie has wasted a world-first opportunity, because what we should have done was ask you to deliver your occasional address as interpretive dance. Perhaps later. That was wonderful. I wrote so many things down, but some of the things are curiosity, originality, just do it, don't be beige. There was also something about strip teasing in there. You sure that was a friend of yours? But telling stories about your life, being original, thriving. There was so many lessons in that short talk that we are very, very fortunate to have heard them. Please join with me in thanking Michael again. Well, as Pro-Chancellor of Macquarie University, I especially look forward to presiding at ceremonies such as today's and conferring degrees on those who have complied with the university's requirements for such awards. I now call upon our Acting Registrar, Dr. Belinda Tiffin, to formally certify the eligibility of those who have met the requirements of these awards. Belinda.
Pro-Chancellor, I certify that all of the candidates being presented here today and those who are absent have satisfied the requirements of the Academic Senate for the degrees they are to be awarded. Would our candidates for admission to degrees please stand up?
In the name of the Macquarie University Council and by my authority as Pro-Chancellor, I admit each of you present and those who are absent to the degrees for which you have qualified. Congratulations.
Graduates, you may be seated. Pro-Chancellor, the graduates at this ceremony are from the Faculty of Arts. I now call on Professor Su Ming Tao, Head of Department of Media, Communications, Creative Arts, Language and Literature at the Faculty of Arts, to present the graduates. Professor Tao.
Pro-Chancellor, the graduates at this ceremony are from the Faculty of Arts. Students and staff from the Faculty of Arts develop critical, inquiring, and curious minds. They work together within and across disciplinary boundaries to ask questions about socially complex problems. They identify paths of research, analyze and communicate ideas in creative formats, and reflect on the skills and knowledge they need in order to understand the world, past, present, and future. Students are encouraged to use their skills and talents to connect with local and global communities. This faculty includes research and study areas in ancient history, anthropology, creative writing, education, English, geography and planning, Indigenous studies, international studies, languages, law, media, music, communication and cultural studies, modern history, politics and international relations, philosophy, sociology, and security studies and criminology. Through transformative education, Faculty of Arts graduates are equipped to face societal challenges with a deep evaluative mind, strong reasoning, and a well-established ethical compass. They explore their creativity and passions while developing transferable skills like communication, critical thinking, and digital literacy. These skills are extremely sought after by employers. To our graduates, as you reflect on the last few years, I'm sure you'll agree that Macquarie University is home to a wonderful community of people. The relationships and networks you have formed will continue to serve you well into your future as professional contacts, as academic mentors, and as lifelong friendships. Thank you. Pro-Chancellor, I present to you the graduates from the Faculty of Arts whom you have admitted to the degrees or awarded diplomas. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Diploma of Language, Croatian, Robert Richardson. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Diploma of Languages, German, Justine Holmes. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Diploma of Languages, Russian, Kirsty Redmond. I present graduates admitted to the degree, not yet, to the degree of the Bachelor of Ancient History. Recipient of the Macquarie University Award for Academic Excellence, Nicolette Berkhold. Recipient of the Macquarie University Award for Academic Excellence, Bridget Collins. Emily Gardner. Heather Halstead. Jordan Mides. Tiana Monroe. Georgia Murphy. Rachel Nawa. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Archaeology, Theoni Apostolopoulos. Jared Ballasty. Amanda Wojcik. Jordan Gilbert. Lisa Halverston. Benjamin Hatton. Hannah Huxley. Peyton Kilgoa. Elaine Lovell. Peter Lucas. Kathleen McLeod. Carrie Ann Meekins. Thomas Malouche. Ryan Molina. Sarah Mills. Christos Masiris. Alice Mortimer. Siobhan O'Neill. Recipient of the Macquarie University Award for Academic Excellence, Emily Pickering. Olivier Ruggiero. Pauline Tauk. Annabelle Thompson. Max Walker. Isaac Weymouth. Mihail Zabilic. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Catherine Benneman. Emmeline Barnett. Alistair Bates. Noah Bridge. Hades Calabush Baños. Jackson Chaffer. Rui Yang Chen. Tara De Cosmo. Caroline Dixon. Alexis Dorbis. Sarah El Sayed. Bryn Familo. Jennifer Fernandez. Jamie Foti. Jack Foyle. Gregory French. Recipient of the Macquarie University Award for Academic Excellence, Bruna Gomez. Chantel Gordon. Kushi Gupta. Belinda Hingston. Elizabeth Ibbotson. Saleh Jalil. Simon Jensen. Sarah Jones. Recipient of the Macquarie University Award for Academic Excellence, Joanne Kennedy. Sylvia Kenny. Patricia Curry. Abby Laurie. Oliver Leahy. Imogen Lees. Tamsin Martin. Caitlin McInnes. Samuel Mellon. Holly Miller. Morgan Mock. Georgia Neal. Nicole Perez. Alicia Power. Stavros Samaras. Kimberly Saville. Ned Shasser. Caitlin Scurville. Caitlin Shanahan. Wen Ting Shu. Zachary Schilling. Sarah Telford. Lillian Wang. Danielle Whitney Smart. Recipient of the Macquarie University Award for Academic Excellence, Brendan Wills. Fergus Yip. Huan Yu. Jie Yu. Sharon Zamet Ross. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Ancient History, Mark Cook. Siobhan Elliott. Holly Millwood. Jacqueline Powell. Anna Stout. Pro-Chancellor, a higher degree by research is awarded to a graduate who has successfully completed a program of study in which the defining characteristic is research. Our Master of Research is a 2-year full-time equivalent research training degree consisting of research-based coursework, postgraduate research training, and a major research project. Graduates have focused on a specific research topic to produce a thesis of up to 20,000 words in preparation for a doctoral degree. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Research. For a thesis entitled Somber Glee at Any Idea of Mass Destruction, History, Crisis, and Affect in Pynchon, Oscar Douglas. For a thesis entitled Deranged, Dissociated, and Loving It, The Rise of Unhinged Women Literature, Taya Miller. For a thesis entitled Gender and Sex Stereotypes in Sports Romance Fiction, Alexandra Mulvey. For a thesis entitled Union Till I Die, Solidarity and Historical Consciousness During Times of Change on the Sydney Waterfront, 1968 to 1998, Angela Parsons. For a thesis entitled When the Walls Spoke, Research into the Psychogeographical Approaches to Cinema, Timothy Sharp. The Doctor of Philosophy is awarded to graduates who have demonstrated the capacity to conduct research independently by forming a distinct contribution to the knowledge of the subject and to afford evidence of coherence and originality shown either by the discovery of new facts or by the exercise of independent critical power. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. For a thesis entitled The Welfare of Ancient Egyptian Livestock in the New Kingdom Period, Dr. Laura Harris. For a thesis entitled Doctoring, Building and Publishing, How Psychiatrist Dr. Frederick Norton Manning Generated His Medical Power and Authority in Colonial New South Wales, 1868 to 1903, Dr. Sarah Luke. For a thesis entitled The Book of Admonitions to Hermits and Monks by Abed Mashir Hotaya, a critical edition of the Syriac texts and English translation with introduction and critical notes, Dr. Avraham Yuchanis. Pro-Chancellor, that completes this afternoon's presentations of the graduates from the Faculty of Arts.
Pro-Chancellor, I call on Dr. Sarah Luke, who graduated with a Doctor of Philosophy in History and Archaeology, to speak on behalf of the graduating group. Dr. Sarah Luke.
Pro-Chancellor, members of the university, fellow graduates and guests, so neatly organised, that's beautiful. What a special day for all of us. This is actually my 4th graduation ceremony, which makes me feel really old. Last time I graduated here at Macquarie, I was graduating with the other Grad Dip Ed students, and we were all sitting where you are now, comparing all of the different jobs that we'd managed to secure since we'd been in class together. That was over a decade ago now. You're all doing the maths to work out how old I am. And now I'm one of those teachers at my school that has a PhD. Every time one of my students asks me a question now, I get a little thrill when they call me doctor. Some of my year 8s who I taught last year asked me recently, what if we forget? And we forget to call you doctor? And I said, well, there will obviously be serious punishments. For me, coming back to university has been a brilliant interlude in my life. I started my PhD in July 2021, just around the time of the second COVID lockdown in New South Wales, but it was really wonderful. There were no distractions, and I had time just to read and immerse myself in my topic. I research aspects of lunatic asylums in New South Wales in the 19th century. So I had lots of time to plan and imagine, which I think is so important when you're starting a new topic. For me, it was the perfect antidote to the isolation and the disruption that I think that we were all feeling at that time. And I rather like the idea of psych institutions from the 1800s helping me through a time that a lot of people found really coping through really difficult. My research has opened a lot of doors, but importantly, it's made me a three-dimensional person. I think that so often people are what they do, and what they do is their job. In researching and writing, I feel like I've recreated myself. I'm not just a high school English teacher, I'm also an author and an archival investigator who has learned that you should totally not wear white to the archives. It's really dirty. I'm also someone who can read 19th century handwriting with ease, even cross-hatched letters. There are some people nodding right now who totally get what I'm talking about. On the downside, I have started writing like a Victorian, and their motto surely was, why use one sentence when you could use three? But aside from these occupational hazards, I found through my research that I meet really interesting people in archives and libraries who are pursuing their passions, which is often not their job. And it worries me sometimes that people do their job and they just spend their time scrolling through their phone. I find people in archives and libraries are not doing that, which is great. I'm really grateful through my degree to have been surrounded by really wonderful academics from the Department of History and Archaeology, and lots of them are behind me. Particularly my supervisor, Professor Tanya Evans, over here, and my associate supervisor, Dr. Mark Hearn. As a teacher myself, I've really enjoyed playing the student for the last few years and living up to my own ideal. It's been great to be, I suppose, on the other side of the desk, so to speak. So congratulations again, everyone. I hope that in graduating today, that you, like me, have added another string to your bow.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I'm hoping you're enjoying your fourth graduation, even more than the other three. I will ask you later how they compare. It's also great to hear a positive COVID story, which is unusual. And I was personally particularly interested in your topic because the subject of your thesis is buried just near where I live, and I walk past his grave all the time. Thank you for talking about the recreation of yourself during your PhD. I think that's a wonderful way of talking about how research and study and scholarship changes a person. Please join with me in thanking Sarah again for her speech.
There was an ooh wow on stage. I'm glad you agree.
And that was the Puccini aria, O mio bambino caro, sung by the magnificent and very spangly Angela Brewer. Angela is also the founder and artistic director of Coast Opera Australia. Please let us thank her again for her beautiful performance. And I have some other musicians to thank. Firstly, our organist, Heather Moan-Boyd. And on the beautiful Chinese transverse flute, Dr. Chai Changning. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank some in our alumni community who come to these graduations behind the scenes to help everything run smoothly. Are they in the audience today? Are they standing? Well, we'll thank them anyway. They're around. And finally, we also need to thank our technical staff. You can't see or hear them, but they ensure that these proceedings can be both seen and heard, both live here and also via the live stream and the recording. I can see them up in the box there. Let us thank them also. Graduates, because that's what you are. Having successfully managed to walk across this stage, you are new people. This ceremony marks a change in your relationship with Macquarie University, but it is certainly not the end, we hope, of your association with us. We look forward to seeing you back here on campus to attend alumni events, possibly to undertake further study, or simply to visit the beautiful campus and reminisce about the good times you spent here as a student of Macquarie. Graduates, the award of a university degree carries many opportunities and privileges, but like all privileges, it also comes with responsibilities. We urge you to commit to lifelong learning and inquiry. We urge you to set ambitious goals for yourselves. We urge you to continue the hard work that has already brought you this far. And remember that the world is not only changed by the great leaps forward of the Albert Einsteins and Marie Curies, but by the many contributions, both small and large, of people just like you. At Macquarie, we pride ourselves on developing each and every one of our students into engaged community citizens and leaders. So we urge you to always give thought to what you can do for others along the way. Sometimes you don't have to do much to make an enormous difference in somebody's lives. Sometimes simply a kind gesture or a kind word can mean an enormous amount. Our hope is that as graduates of Macquarie University, you will use what you have learned here not only for your own benefit, but also for the benefit of our community. And in all you do, we charge you to uphold the good name of Macquarie University. It's also our hope that you will always remember the people who have helped you along the way, many of whom are here today. So to acknowledge their contributions and thank them for it, I'm going to ask you to do a few things. Firstly, I'd like all our new graduates to stand. Could you please now place your testamas on the seats behind you and turn and face your family and friends and give them a hearty round of applause. Okay, you can turn around now, but don't sit down just yet, because behind me on the stage are representatives of the academic staff who have supported you throughout your academic journey. Please join me in thanking them also. Graduates, please remain standing now, but please now pick up your testamers so you don't leave them behind, because we're only going to give you one. Shortly, I'll be leading the official party out of the graduation hall, followed by you, the graduates, and followed by all our distinguished guests. As we do, our organist will play the traditional recessional music of graduation, which has been played at ceremonies like this one for centuries. There is an age-old set of Latin lyrics which begins Gaudeamus igitur dum sumus juvenis. In translation, this means, therefore, let us rejoice, we will always be young. Again, to our newest graduates of Macquarie University, my warmest congratulations and every best wish for futures filled with success, satisfaction and happiness. Now, could I ask everybody else in the hall to also stand? And after we all leave the hall, we invite you to join us for some light refreshments outside. In closing today's wonderful celebration of your achievements, I say again, Gaudeamus igitur, therefore let us rejoice.